Yo, what is up you guys? Today I want to talk a little bit about an anime called Erased. So if you guys have not seen it already, it is a wonderful anime. It is probably one of the best anime of the winter 2015/2016 anime season, and you probably do want to check it out. There's a lot of drama, mystery, and suspense, and it all revolves around children for the most part. And I really do mean for the most part. So the series starts off with our main character, Satoru. He is a 29-year-old manga artist and a pizza delivery driver. In the beginning of the series, we understand he has this power called Revive, and it makes it so he can travel backwards in time by a matter of minutes to stop a tragedy from happening. So in the first episode, we see him driving and making pizza deliveries, and he actually stops a child from getting hit by a truck because he foresees it and he's able to go back in time and prevent it from happening. And in the beginning, they make it extremely clear that this only happens for a matter of minutes and he can only go backwards in time by just a few minutes. Later on, we see Satoru out shopping with his mother, Sachiko. Look at that MILF, Sachiko. Damn, Satoru, your mom looking good as shit. Damn, she got them DSLs though. Sachiko got a fat ass. Over there with those luscious ass lips. And she apparently has some sort of paranormal powers herself. She can actually sense when danger is around. And the moment that they're out shopping, she notices this guy in a car who looks very familiar. Skipping forward, we see Satoru in a bookshop looking at a book that happens to have some past memories of some children, mainly girls, that got murdered in his past. He remembers that this happened and that the killer was never found. And he has a fond memory of one of these girls and how he would see her standing outside on the playground by herself during this time, right before her murder and her kidnap. Satoru makes his way home that night and he finds his mom dead on the floor. I'm pretty sure that's not a spoiler. I mean, that's in the first episode, right? The police arrive and when you know it, Satoru is the prime suspect for the murder of his mother. Skip forward a little bit more in time and we find out that Satoru actually finds out that the killer of his mother must also be the killer of the three girls. He then triggers another revival, which doesn't send him back in time by a few minutes, but instead sends him back in time by 19 years. So now the mind of 29-year-old Satoru is in the body of a 10-year-old Satoru. And that is basically the premise of the anime. I know it was kind of long, but that is the premise of it. It follows Satoru in his younger days as a 10-year-old, and it follows the events that happen, and he has to stop these three girls from being murdered, as well as finding out who the killer is and save both the girls and his mother. And like I said before, there's one girl in particular that Satoru has this really close connection with, and her name is Kayo. We find out quite a bit about Kayo, and actually we see why she is the focus of this anime. We do see more about the other two girls, but not so much about them, it's more so about Kayo. And without giving too much away, let's just say that Kayo doesn't have the best life. So a good portion of the anime does follow Satoru and his connection with Kayo, and the two of them become a lot closer throughout the anime. And alongside that bond, there is a lot more depth in this, and it has to do with this mystery of the killer. There's this one dude throughout the anime who they swear is going to be the killer. I'm not going to spoil it if he is or isn't, but I'm just going to tell you that the reveal of who the killer is may or may not be disappointing for some of you. And the consensus is that it is more than likely going to be a disappointment. It's really cool to see everything happening from the mind of Satoru, who is a 29-year-old, but it's taking place in the body of a 10-year-old, which reminds me of another anime that also revolves around that same plot, but we're gonna move on. One of the best parts about this anime is how it gives you that entire perspective of Kayo in her life and Satoru in his life, and it really does make you feel for these two characters. But on the other hand, there is a downside to that. There are other side characters, and I'm not gonna lie, they're not that important, but for the most part, you're going to be focusing on these two characters, Satoru and Kayo. Not to mention, there are two other girls who are at risk of being murdered, and they don't really get much of a focus in this anime. Throughout most of the series, you'll see a lot of the connection and the bond with Satoru and Kayo, but for the last few episodes, it'll just be tidbits of, hey, there's this one girl, we need to stop her from being murdered. We did it. And then there's this other girl who doesn't go to our school. We should stop her from being murdered. We did it! There isn't much of a closeness, and it kind of disconnects you from those characters when you see these other two having like this very close bond, and they're very close to one another, and they're very just tightly knit together, and then the other two girls just like, yeah, we need to save them too. I mean, you know, I don't want them to die. I don't really care about them. I don't want them to die. Who wants little girls to die? That's really fucked up. Before I move on with this review, I'm going to tell you guys there's a lot in this anime that I found to be more so on the side of negative than positive, but that does not mean that this anime is not a good one. One little tidbit I had about the anime is the fact that this whole revive power that Satoru has, it never is explained in full depth. We go from the first episode with him using it for just a few minutes to him just using it to go back in time by 19 years. And this may or may not be a spoiler, but you know, just skip past like the next 10 seconds if it is. But there is a point when he does go forward in time again and then goes backwards by another 19 years to the point where he was before. They never fully explain this power, and it does bother me, but only a little bit. Also, this may or may not be a good thing or bad thing depending on who you are, but in my opinion it is more of a positive thing than a negative thing. It's the fact that this whole anime is a drama mystery anime, but it doesn't always present itself as such. Like, yes, there's a drama, yes, there's mystery, yes, we're trying to figure out who the killer is, yes, we're rooting for Satoru to make sure that these girls do not die and to make sure that he is the one winning and making sure that they're okay. But the heart of this anime literally is the heart of this anime, if that makes any sense. When I say that the friendship between Kaio and Satoru is a very key part of this anime, it is a very key part of this anime. More so than the drama, more so than the mystery itself, it's more about these two connecting one another, and it's more so about Kaio than it is Satoru. And now it's time for this part of the review where I talk about some of these spoilers. If you guys have not seen Erased, I'm probably going to put a little thing right here. Either click it or go to this point in the video and you will not be spoiled, but until then, there's going to be spoilers, so go ahead and click it. You got time, and spoilers are coming. Okay, let's talk about who the killer is and the reveal of who the killer is. Now, personally, I feel like the reveal of the killer was sort of I mean, seriously, to find out that the teacher, Yashiro, is the killer in the anime is just kind of like, is really lackluster. When you think about all the possible candidates of who could be the killer throughout the anime, you have to think. It has to be somebody that we've seen before. It has to be somebody that we know of. It has to be somebody who is a part of the anime in some shape or form. And yeah, it could have been the guy who was flying planes with the kids. It could have been him. I don't remember his name, but it could have been him, yeah. But in the end, if it was him, would you have been satisfied? I know I wouldn't have been. And the only other person that we really got a glimpse of throughout this anime was the teacher himself. There was no other character that was reoccurring and that wasn't really a huge part of the anime, and even at that was an adult that we could have accused of being the killer in the first place. So when we find out it's Yashiro, it's a little disappointing. Also, let me get into the part about how it's weird how when we get to the final episode, when we get to the ending of the anime, we find out, yo, Yashiro never killed any kids. He was trying to kill all three of these girls for that entire time that Satoru was in the past. And after that, after the thing happened where he got put in a coma, so we just find out that Yashiro didn't kill anybody else. He didn't go after any other girls. He didn't attempt to do anything else. I know they try to explain that a little bit, but it just seems weird. Like, this dude obviously is a serial killer in some way or form. Why the hell would he just say to himself, you know what? I'm not gonna kill kids anymore because this nigga got me. Satoru, you got me, nigga. I'm gonna kill you when you get out of that fucking coma. I'm gonna wait as long as I need to, my nigga. Come on, why? At that point in the ending of the anime, Yashiro just turned out to be someone who attempted murder, but never murdered anybody. Which is still pretty bad. I mean, he got arrested for attempted murder, but still. Also, yo, it's kind of very annoying to me how in the first episode, it's all about saving Sachiko, saving the three girls. But later on, we find out, like, Sachiko doesn't really have an importance in Satoru's mind. He's focused on saving these 3 girls, and he's not really focused about saving his mom. He doesn't have that thought in his head, and it could make sense because obviously if you save 3 girls, then his mom isn't going to die. But that thought never really crossed his mind throughout the rest of the series, and I was like, yo, bro, I know you try to save these girls, but your mom's is in danger too. And my memory may be very hazy since I've seen this first episode, but was it really made absolutely clear that the person who killed those 3 girls is also the person who killed Sachiko? I know obviously it is, but did they make that a clear statement in the first episode to begin with? I mean, I never saw anywhere that it was a clear connection that, oh, the same dude who killed these girls is who killed my mom. It totally makes sense. It's all connected. But I will say, for the ending of this anime, it is a very decently made ending, even though it felt like it was very much rushed. Satoru gets out of the coma and he finds out that Kaio's alive and she has a child. She finds out that one of the other girls that was supposed to be killed is now a dude, and all his friends are there, and his friends are doing great and they have great lives, and we find out all these great things, but it just feels a tiny bit rushed. And then out of nowhere, Yashiro just shows up and it's just like, what's up, nigga? I heard you got that coma, ready to die now? Erased is a great drama mystery anime with plenty of feels. It pulls you in from episode 1, and honestly, it keeps you there for the rest of the way. It doesn't focus that heavily on the subplots, but the main story is very well executed and a thrill to watch. And it's definitely an anime you're going to want to watch at some point in time. So that is it for this review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did watch Erased, tell me how you liked it or didn't like it in the comment section down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe for more anime reviews. And for now, it's me, NextLevelOtaku, saying stay gold, and I'll see you guys later.